got another shipment, discus from Myrtle Beach. We have the Kupwa, Red, Ika Heckle, and the Royal. So let's get unboxing. I'm going to kind of go through how I unbox because I'm getting some people that are timid about buying fish online. I want to show you how simple it is. They overnight it. I guarantee it's shipped perfect because they always are. So let's get going. All right, let's open this box up. So one thing that I do a little bit different is I buy my discus small because I know that I can grow them out. But sometimes, you know, if you're not sure, I'd always try to recommend to buy, they call it select grade, but it's the 4-inch because you're going to get a good head start as a beginner if you go that size. So first thing yesterday, what I did is my water, my pH is about an 8. And their pH at their facility is about 7.4. So what I do is hard water about this much, and then I fill it up with RO, and that brings down the pH a little bit. Now it can get it below 7, but as long as you're in that 7 to 7.8, probably okay. It's not going to be an issue. I've taken fish from 6.5 to 7.8, no problem. But I would highly recommend to try to get it as close as possible. One thing about the RO water, the soft water, is it's a little easier on the fish. Now I'm going to go over everything I do as far as the salt, how I treat that. Water changes obviously, so this is clean water. Now this temperature is a little warm in here, and I dropped the heater, I thought 2 degrees, but for some reason it's holding at that at 88. That's a little warm, so I'd probably want to drop that down to 86, but I'm going to float the bags anyways and get them to temperature. One thing about this company is they ship really, really well. I've had one fish that was a little iffy, and he turned out to be okay. So you got your box, which is perfectly marked, and they ship FedEx. So I always get it the next day shipped. FedEx does a great job in shipping. Let's get this out of the way here. I'm in a tight area here, but oh, toasty. Yeah, they're sitting about 82 degrees, so perfect. Oh, I've never seen one of these. Acclimation, 20 minutes float. Scoop, don't put the water in your tank, yep. Lights out for 24 hours. Now, at least dim the lights, and I'm going to show you how I do it because I don't turn my lights off in my room, but I'm going to show you how I do that. Aquarium salt for 7 days. Now I do salt for 4 days, so that's right on. 24 hours. Change water, begin feeding. Yeah, you don't want to throw food in right away because they're going to be a little bit stressed from the trip. Discus will lie down for a few days after transit. This is normal, and lots of aeration. So yeah, everything I agree with 100%. Pretty cool. All right. So one thing is a trash, somewhere to put your trash. Just because I've done this hundreds of times, I kind of know everything to do. So it's about being prepared and not trying to just bring your fish in and rush in and open them, because if you're not prepared, issues will happen. So yeah, it's about 88. It's a little warm, so I'm going to float them, but let's check the bags. So you notice there's blue water, and that's methylene blue. That basically keeps bacteria at bay. And the bags look really clean. One little piece of poop in there, which is perfect. That means they've purged their fish. It's exactly what you want to do when you ship. So about 75 degrees, which is perfect. That's fine for shipping. So you can see how small they are, if you can see that in the bag. Perfect for me though. I love growing out fish. I have no problem buying fish this small, but I'm going to say if you're not experienced, to buy bigger fish. Buy less and buy bigger. That looks like the Ika. Another Ika. That's got to be the Royal. That looks like the Kupwa. All right. Because they're a little cooler, 75, 76 degrees, which is fine. That's not a big deal. You don't want them at 82 degrees in there because of oxygen, so that's perfect. It just means they're able to breathe in their bag when it's a little bit cooler, so that's fine. So I'm going to clean up this mess. We're going to float them for a half hour, and then we'll be back and release them. Alright, it's been about 40 minutes. We're going to cut these guys loose. So basically, you just take a bucket and you kind of see, just bend it right over, and then this lip goes right over the front, and that way it doesn't slip out on you. And just cut it halfway with some sharp scissors, not like these, the kids' play scissors. And then put it in the bag, open it, and pour it in. Looks like a Kupwa to me. Small, love it. So the smaller ones tend to be a little more hardy, and they tend not to lay down on you. He's got a little spot on him, so we're going to definitely salt these guys. But they just seem to acclimate faster, but you better understand that you have to grow them at this size, right? They're still not out of the growth phase. They need a lot of food and a lot of water changes. So yeah, Kupwa, number one. Okay, I should have got some better scissors, but we're gonna make these work because I don't feel like going and getting any more. So these are daycare scissors. Yeah, these aren't real scissors. Okay, but we can make it work. Basically what you're doing is you're just cutting that bag, holding it like a handle, making sure you got that open area there, dumping it right in the net. Definitely a Royal. Pretty fish. Yeah. That fish is half wild, so which I tend to like. Now I'm going to talk about Myrtle Beach. Excellent job as far as communications and packing and shipping. Everything is great. Fish are always nice. Love that company. I've dealt with some bad companies, and this is definitely not one. So Myrtle Beach Discus, always get my money's worth there. Okay, so I'm not sure, but looks like a Royal. there's an Ika. About that a mile away. Yeah, you can even see those heckle bars. I'm not going to show them that, you know, that young, so, but I can see the outlines. Nice fish, good eye size. Yeah, that's a good fish. Not sure, they're gonna have to grow a little bit. That guy's a little bit long in the body, so we'll see how he turns out. He might be stressed though. Ah, another Ika. Beautiful. Yeah, that's a nice fish there. Woo! Sweet! Alright, so now what we're going to do is put a scoop of salt. Let these guys relax. Give them a little spa treatment. 1 scoop. 29 gallon. Good. That's my salt, and then what I also do is I give them a boost of the fulvic. So 2.5 milliliters. I think that's it. 2.5, yep, mil. Don't try to feed them now, don't try to do anything. Just let them acclimate to their new surroundings. They're already looking good. Now they're in warm water. I had to recalibrate my temperature gauge. It was actually a few degrees off. So they're about sitting about 86, which is perfect, which is what I thought. But yeah, for some reason I was out of whack a little bit. 86 degrees, salt, fulvic, no food. Now the key, okay? So remember, I talked to you guys about stress. Stress is the #1 killer of discus. We need to really bring that stress down. Now, with the size of these guys, we're going to be okay. But if you get adult discus, this is a must. We have to darken the tank. Doesn't mean cover it totally. Just kind of give them a little bit of a So this way, if they want to get out of the light, they can go to the back and go up a little bit and they'll get out of that light. So we want them just to relax. It's crucial to not try to do anything else. Just let them sit. Lights will be on in about 3 or 4 hours and they'll be good to go. This size, for me, acclimates easy. Adults, a little bit tougher. They want to lay down, they do all kinds of funky stuff. They can look very stressed. There's a little bit of stress going on with some clamping, but all in all, they look really, really good. But I would recommend to get a little bit bigger if you're not experienced at growing discus. Yeah, cool. All right, we're gonna let these guys go, and we'll come back in the morning and we'll take a look and see how they look, all right? All right, so it's Friday morning, and we're gonna look at them. They've been in my room for about 60 hours. They came in Tuesday night, and we're gonna give them a quick feeding. I've been mostly feeding them baby brine shrimp, but a couple other, they did eat a couple blackworm cubes, and we'll feed some of that. But I'm going to try my Daily Delight for the first time. Now, guys, this is on sale, 40% off right now through the end of the year, Daily Delight. I have 10 kilos. I have a lot, so that's why I'm offering it at 40% off. And also the Cloella Green is on sale at a little over 40%. So you can pick these up right now at a great deal. All right, so let's feed them and see if they eat it. I know they will because it's amazing. Now this stuff is a little different than what I sell on the website. I made some big cubes. I call these fish room cubes. I can feed my whole fish room with one of these cubes. And now I feed a little different than most people think. Most people want to just put that cube in there, but that's not really the best way to feed this food. It's designed to crumble. And if you look at most YouTubers now that own fish stores, we're putting stuff into the water column because we want them to feed that way. We don't want them to take a corner and defend the food. So if you look at this food, it's pretty big, and then what it's done is I've cut it into 4 sections. So I can take one section and feed this tank. Now, the best way to feed these cubes is you can put them in and put them on the glass and they'll break up slowly, but the best way to do it is just to crumble it. So just take it and crumble it, and this way you can kind of control the size of the food. So we can do fine for real small fry, we can do bigger for these guys, and it's very versatile, but not just that, very high quality. So for that 40% off right now, you buy this stuff, you will get your money's worth. So you can see it sinks real slow. Now, some of it does stay on top, and that's normal because remember, we're feeding the water column, we're not feeding the fish. We want this food to dissipate through the tank so everyone gets a chunk, because already there is a hierarchy in here. There's one of the Ica Reds is dominant, and then there's a little guy that probably won't be a breeder, but I don't know because it's still small. These are 2.5-inch fish. This way everyone gets to pick some food. So you notice that I don't throw a cube in. Now, for bigger fish you can do that. I would throw a couple cubes in for bigger fish, but really even my bigger fish, all my fish, this is how I feed this food. And this is kind of how it was designed to be fed. But I wanted to give you the option to put it in as a cube, a full cube if you wanted. But what I'm finding with the cube is it's not breaking up enough that I like to feed my fish. Still totally doable and still totally fine as feeding it that way. But if you look at these guys, I've broken the food down to them for their size. Now, you see these guys? These are 1, 2, and 3 right here, dominant. They're going to come out first. That's an Ica, a Kupwa, and a Kupwa. And then this guy is an Ica back here, and he's actually big, so he might end up taking over soon. But this is the first time they've seen this food. You can see them attacking it. And the reason why is just, I mean, if you take the food and you smell it, it smells like just high quality. That's why they attack it, is because it smells so good and they can basically taste it in the water as it hits the water. Just sit here and watch for a minute, and they're picking at that food, and that's kind of how we want, but the food is going throughout the tank, right? We want that water column food. That way no one's dominant. Now what I'm noticing with these fish already is you got the 5 here, and then there's a subdominant in the back. Now, unfortunately, this is what happens a lot, is that subdominant fish never really thrives. But what it does is it allows the other ones to thrive. And it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is in a cichlid pack. Basically, you have a hierarchy where the most dominant fish is going to be the guy. He's going to be the one that's taking charge and always, you know, not bullying, because that's not what they're doing. They're setting their territory. They're setting where they are in their hierarchy. You have to have that bottom fish. And what you don't want is you don't want a prize fish to be that bottom fish, because usually what happens is that fish tends to take the hit as far as growth. One thing I'm noticing about that fish in the back is it's staying by itself a lot. Now, these are shoaling fish. They do like to shoal. They like to stay together. They find safety in numbers. But it comes out a little bit, and it's starting to show a little bit more spunk. But it's not ever going to be the dominant fish in this tank. My best hope is that fish is probably not a breeder just because of the fin shape. I would not probably breed that fish. But what I can do is hopefully grow that fish up into a decent size, a healthy, strong fish that's not an A+ breeder fish, and sell that fish to someone that will enjoy it. Most people just want a good, healthy fish. They're not looking for the perfect eye size, the perfect finnage, perfect shape. You know, as a breeder, that's what we want. And all these fish, other fish, are that. They are like top drawer, A fish, couple A+, couple A-, but as long as they're in that A range, I can use them as breeders. This guy's definitely a B. He might even be a B-. Now, at a C, we're culling, right? So this is the fish that you get at your fish store, basically. But the problem with that fish going into a fish store is it's already taken a hit from its genetics, and then it goes into a fish store and just kind of sits in the tank and doesn't get fed enough and just kind of sits back there, and then, you know, someone that doesn't understand and wants a discus goes in and buys that fish and wonders why they struggle. I can get that fish healthy and healthy enough to thrive, but not to be probably a breeder. I want to talk about Myrtle Beach. They are great. I have bought discus 6-packs, and 1 fish was good, and then I got 5 garbage. So, you know, you hope that you're going to get all good fish, but I'm going to take this as a huge win because I got 5 potential breeders in here as long as I do my job and work on what I need to. I want you to go look at the website, 40% off the Daily Delight. Buy as much as you can, get a great deal. It's amazing food. I feed it to all my fish, great food. And if it's one food I would recommend everyone have it in their fish room or at their fish tank would be the Daily Delight. I put a lot of time and effort and a lot of failure to get this food and the way it feeds. But remember, don't just try to throw a cube in. You know, maybe bigger fish, that would work. Some of my bigger discus, I do that sometimes. I'll just walk around and dump it in. But it tends to want to float for a while. So by doing the crumble, she's on fry, so this is a perfect example. So what I'm going to do is take this Daily Delight and just crumble as tight as I can to give as much fine food in there as I can, because it's all pure quality. But then what I do is, so that's for the fry, and then I take this cube left and I just break it up into like chunks, and she'll eat those chunks. Okay, so everybody gets fed. Mom gets fed, the babies get fed, and you'll see them, they'll break off and start munching on this after about 10 days. They'll start picking at food on the ground, but also they're still feeding on this cone here as far as bacteria. These fish have never seen this food, and you can see they're picking at it. And I'm going to let them pick at it, and then probably in about a half hour what I'll do is I'll throw a black room cube in there, because no fish will turn this down. If you ever see a fish turn this down, there's something wrong with that fish. But what I will do here is, because they're new, I will not stick it to the glass up top. I will stick it to the glass at the bottom, because you can kind of see they're staying tight right now. They haven't figured out to use the whole tank. You know, you got to remember, they just came on a long trip, and even though it's been about 60 hours, they're still new to this environment. Different lighting, different temperatures, different water, different owner. So everything they're still acclimating to. They're just trying to figure everything out, you know, how's this all working out. So you see this subdominant just popped out, and they put her back. You know, people think discus are so delicate. They're not that delicate. They're delicate because they get sick because of stress. That's why they're delicate. But, so she's already come to the front, which is great, and I'm guessing that's a female. But the more I look at that fish, I can say that it's probably struggled in the tank it came from. Alright? Alright guys, that's about it for the video. I just want to thank everybody for subscribing. Channel's growing. I'm trying to put out a couple a week. Last week I think I did 3 videos. I'm hoping within 6 months I can do this full time. That's my goal. So buy my stuff, watch my videos. You know, I know the ads get annoying sometimes, but that's how I make money, where I can do this full time. I hope you enjoy the videos. Please leave a comment below. Any questions, I will answer them for you. Have a great one. Take care, guys.